So here's another video, or not a video, but another voice recording of just some thoughts that I had while retaining, because I do understand that when we retain, like as men, we retain our energy from sexual, acts and just lust and stuff. Our mind becomes clearer. Excuse me, and we tend to just be more aware of things. We think better, I guess you could say. We're just overall more clear and level-headed. So I just want to be able to just get my thoughts out, and you know, I seem to be able to speak better, and like I said, just kind of control my thoughts and my line of thinking, rather than it just being more chaotic when I'm in, more anxious when I'm not retaining. So, but yeah, one thing I just want to say, like, about, if I was to post this, what I would say or talk about is like the women attraction that people seem to talk about and get on semen retention. And I will say it is 100% real. It is not a fake thing. It's not just placebo. It is actually true, and it will happen if you go long enough. Because what I found out is that sexual energy, no matter even if it's feminine energy or masculine sexual energy, it is very appealing and very attractive. And when I mean attractive, I'm not talking about in like looks or anything like that, but I'm talking about the energy itself. It is attractive and attracting. It's like magnets. So everybody has sexual energy. Male or female has sexual energy. Male and female, I should say, should have sexual energy. But as males, we have within us like an add-on to the sexual energy. I mean, as a sex, like as a male or female, you hardly have a reproductive system which holds sexual energy. But us men, we have something within us that holds life in it, which is our semen. So that sexual energy can be turned into fluid, which is the semen that we all know and have in our body as men. So when you retain, you're holding in an excess amount of that fluid that is both spiritually sexual energy and also physical fluid. So when you hold in your balls, when you hold in your energy, this sexual energy will build up and attract and become more magnetized. So when you walk out amongst women, obviously women, they have a sense to just be able to sense more, I guess you could say, spiritual elements or more just subtle, energetic things than men. Men also have the ability to do that, but women are just more inclined and more intuitive when it comes to that ability. And when you're walking around with this heightened sense of energy, they can feel it, and it just draws them to you. And it's subconscious. They're not aware of it. They'll notice it, but they might not know exactly what you're doing that you're retaining, but they'll know like something is different about them. And they might not say this directly to you, but they'll be staring. You'll get stares. They'll just seem to want to be around you. Like when you walk, I have like it really wasn't woman attraction, I guess you could say, because she didn't come up to me, but I felt her staring really hard. It was this woman. I was at work one time, and I was just chilling on the cashier's drawer, or not drawer, but like the counter. And this woman was like, she had like, I guess you could call it skimpy clothing, but she had like short shorts and it wasn't a bra, but it was like a I don't know what you call it, like a crop top type of jacket thing. You could see her navel. And I seen her in the line, and then I looked, like I was looking straight forward, and I just felt like somebody was just staring at me. And when I looked, her face quickly changed from my direction to, facing the cashier. And I'm like, I was very, like, I don't say weirded out, but I was very, like shocked, like, bro, was she staring at me? And she was. And that was when I was, like, on one of my streaks. It wasn't even that long, it wasn't even that long. It probably was, like, 4 or 5 or 6 days. But that's the type of stuff that will happen. But what I've noticed is, yes, you will get woman attraction on semen retention. But when you fail, everything changes. Like everything, that energy, and I want to speak about that is because what I feel happens when you relapse is the energy that you had that magnetized you and made you attractive and draw people towards you and women towards you leaves your body because it's in your sac, it's in your semen. That's that energy, that life force, that attraction is in there. So if it leaves you, they're gonna leave too because they're gonna follow it. And I'm not saying in a literal sense like they'll follow wherever the semen goes, but they'll leave you because what first attracted them, which was your energy, is now gone and now you're depleted. So there's no point in staying with you because the energy that attracted them is not within you no more. So I'm not saying all this to say, oh, do it for the woman, keep holding your ball so you can have women, chase you and stuff. I'm not saying none of that. I'm just stating things that I've noticed, and it is true. So, and I'm not saying that you can't get a woman to talk to you in a depleted state. I'm not saying that, but it is very rare for a woman to contact you or to get your attention rather than you doing it, trying to get hers. But it seems like that happens on retention. Like that woman will come up to you. Woman will give you stares and show you that they're interested rather than you having to do all the work. And I guess that's a benefit if you don't like going up to women and having to, always shoot your shot and talk to them first. It can be a benefit. And if you don't like that, you just like the thrill of, having to go get your girl, then I guess it doesn't matter. But some people don't like always having to go up. And I'm one of the people. I don't really like going up to women sometimes. I mean, I would do it if I really find her attractive and I'm not going to waste the opportunity. But if it's just a regular girl, I'm like, I don't have to do all that. And it doesn't not just limit to regular girls. It can be really pretty women, like which happened to me. A very, very beautiful girl texted me on TikTok, and I was very surprised because I did not believe that I could get her attention or even talk to her. But she hit me up saying that I looked good. Like, as I know, I'm not, like I said, I'm not an ugly man. I'm actually, I'm not going to say that because it sounds like I'm being, narcissistic or egotistical, but I'll just say it like this. I'm not ugly, but I did not think that I was, like, handsome enough for it to get her attention or even for her to text me first. But it happened, and I was on a long streak, or the semi-long streak. I was on 25 days. Still remember. And, when we was texting on Snapchat, I got Snapchat, it felt like things were going sexual and things were going like in a direction of like lust, and I had to cut it off real quick. Not cut off talking to her, but cut this conversation off. And that so it won't go to doing that direction. And I feel like sometimes if it's a blessing that God will give you, the devil will try to make it a curse and try to make you fall and be tempted. So even though the girl was probably not bad and her intentions were evil, but the devil, he's a slickster. He tries to, any gap you give him, anything that he can take, he'll make it into a big thing, So I stopped it, luckily, with the strength of God and the, mind of Christ to not be lustful towards her and not to give in to temptation. Because how I seen it, it could have went that way. So, it's just, a lot of times people think that, getting woman traction is all fun and games, but it can be very bad because some of these women are not the right woman for you and they just want you for your energy. Like I said, most things that attract the woman that comes on retention is your energy. It's not really you, because if you were depleted, you would have got the same women, but you don't. So you can see that it's something different about retention, something different about holding in your energy that magnetizes you and makes you more attractive to the opposite sex. But it's not just that. It can be looks, obviously. When you retain, you shouldn't just retain and keep old bad habits. You should, get in the gym. You should eat better. And you should, all things that, to be healthier and have good habits and stuff. When you do that, obviously that plays a part. But the biggest and most crucial thing, which is bringing their attention to you, is your sexual energy that is being heightened and magnetized. But also, what you should learn to do is control your urges, and not really control them. I can't say control, but you should, just learn to be with them, learn to alchemize them, or however you want to say it, or just learn to overcome them. And when I mean that, I'm not saying to fight your urges or anything like that or suppress them, but just rather accept them and, go beyond them. Like, don't try to suppress your sexual energy, because it is one of the strongest forms of energy that we have in our body, other than love. But it is very, very, very strong. And if you try to suppress it, it will tend to come back stronger, because it wants to be released, it wants to be expressed. So don't, you should learn to transmute it. That's where transmutation comes in. That sexual transmutation. You should just sit with it. It's not nothing fancy. It's nothing like you gotta say all these bunch of words and you gotta cast spells on yourself. Nothing like that. You just literally sit with the energy and breathe, and just visualize the energy going from your area, your sexual area, to your brain or your heart. And other religions and other stuff, they'll use these fancy words to describe what's going on here. But what you're doing is you're taking the energy from your reproductive system and just moving it up to a higher, more pure, energy state, I guess you could say. So you won't be so lustful, because if all your sexual energy is in your sexual area, then it's going to want to be expressed out of it, which is ejaculation. But if you can move it up to your heart or to your head, it can be expressed in creativity, creative thinking, or more power in the gym, or a lot of areas. But you just want to be able to do that. So yeah, I think that's all for right now.